Hello and welcome to Hanging on Monday Night. We are joined by Boston John, Buddy in Chicago, and the thriller, DJ Damon. Tuned his pose in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yep.
We got Mikey Mike and we got Kevin. And boy, do we have a show for you tonight. Now, actually, I was checking out some comments on one of the DJ social media groups, and somebody had asked, if you're doing like a wedding show or a wedding expo, what's a cool thing to give as a giveaway to the clients? And I looked in the comment section, and Jason Longobardo, he's a pretty cool DJ. He's out he's in New York, I think. Anyway, he had said information is the best thing that you can give to these folks when they're coming through. And I agree. But that got me thinking. A while back, I did this little 5 tips for brides and grooms thing. And I was giving it away to anybody who wanted it. This is something you could print out or whatever you could hand out to people. And none of it was self-serving. None of it was go with a DJ with X amount of years experience. It was none of that. It was practical advice for anybody who's getting married. Things maybe people don't think about. You know what I mean? So I'll give you what the one is that I remember I wrote down as one of my 5s. And then I thought maybe you guys might have something you could add to it. This is not self-serving. Get a DJ who is fully insured by Lloyd's of London, and none of that. None of that. Just practical advice, things you don't think wedding clients are thinking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So my thing that I remember having on the sheet was don't put grandma in front of the speakers. When you're doing the floor plan, if you've got older relatives, maybe set them towards the back of the room or somewhere away from the speakers so they can have conversation during things like dinner. Because as you know, at a lot of these events you go to, you stick grandma right in front. She's giving you dirty looks all night because she doesn't like the volume, right? Have you experienced this?
Yeah. Yep.
Kevin has. It's just not nodding his head. I know Kevin. That was one of the tips that I had. Do you guys have some tips that you could give out to any potential brides, grooms, people getting married that might help them out? Something that you wish they knew going in, regardless if they book you or not. You have one, Kevin.
Yes, I had a booking, and unfortunately, I lost it. Basically, they found out the venue had an in-house DJ and an in-house sound system, and I said, I'm happy for you, but I just want to make sure that you go and listen to the sound system because I know they can be sketchy, and so mine was just giving them good piece of advice. To go and check it out, make sure it's up to snuff.
Sure.
And, that the DJ is someone that they, feel comfortable with, because I know they
right.
feel enough to book.
That's a big one too. Just right there is a big one.
So I said, check out the venue you're having it, check out the sounds, check out the DJ, make sure it's going to work for you.
I like that. And that was something that I had on that list too. I'm recalling. Whoever you book, make sure that you're really comfortable with this person. Make sure that you're jiving, see eye to eye. Make sure there's some kind of connection. They can see your vision. They're helping you realize your vision. Go with someone who you're comfortable with. That was a big one.
The other thing, I don't want to monopolize because I'm not that kind of guy. You said information. Another thing sort of tied into that is time. Giving them your time. Don't shortchange them. It's like, I'm busy. Yes, I'm here for you. If you need to talk, we'll talk. I don't have a time limit or anything like that. I welcome conversating with them because it builds a bond between you and them.
Anyone else have a really cool tip you get? Buddy, what do you got?
I talk to you guys here. I always do a lot of wedding shows. And one of the things I always talk to brides especially when they're leaving is whoever they choose, whoever DJ service they choose, make sure that service makes them, the couple, the focal point, not the DJ, not the photographer, not the videographer, not the venue. Make them the focal point. And I always tell them that's the thing is any proper wedding DJ, that's what we're going to focus on. Make sure you are the headliners. Make sure you are the front row. We're background characters at best.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that, and it's one of the things that I believe that wholeheartedly when I talk to couples, and that's how you should, to me, how you should run your DJ business as a wedding DJ.
Sure.
If you're a club DJ or something like that, yeah, we're up front, but as a wedding DJ, you take more of a back row.
Well, that's kind of funny you say that because I remember I started in skating rinks back in 1984. And nobody really knew where the booth was. I mean, it wasn't important to know where the booth was because they were hearing music regardless. And then later on, working in clubs, I mean, there was a club I worked at. I know I was 25 feet above everybody. It was way up in the air. This real lofty ceiling place. Nobody knew where the booth was. They just heard the music. So going into being a mobile DJ was different because back then we were more the entertainer and less of the background person, which I believe is better. Like you say, let's make it about the client, and so that's important. It's not about the DJ. It's about the client and whatever that audience needs. You should be able to do it behind the curtain like the Great Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain or the person behind the curtain kind of thing. Yeah. I get you, John. What do you got?
It's very true. I mean, the MC skill used to have to get up in front and be Jay Leno, and I'm going to crack some jokes. It'd be the life for funny. And that was the shtick 70s, 80s, and that kind of went by the wayside. It's like, let's put the focus where it belongs, like you say, on the couple.
I think that came from, in my experience, a lot of the people who were teaching me how to be a wedding DJ were former band frontmen. So they were doing wedding bands. And at the time, they were kind of the loud person up front, and they were saying a lot of things and making people laugh and doing things or whatever. That's different now. It's kind of like old school club stuff where you don't see them anymore. And I like that better. It's just a better arrangement.
Sure. And something you can tell your client just to tie into this whole idea is let them know that you're their ally. You're not working against them. Like their vision is what you want to help push through the day. You're the behind the scenes guy that can work with the coordinator and the photographer in the kitchen and handle a lot of that little stuff that never has to make it to their table on that day. And you encourage them, the people that you hire, just make sure they have a certain flow about them, that they work nice with others, they play nice. You don't want to have that one photographer with an attitude that can tank the whole thing, or the designer programmer that everything has to be to the millisecond and go stopwatch, and remember to have fun on your day. This, you get one shot to do this right. And that's something that you convey in the initial talks, is that I'm there to make sure that it stays on the rails. And it's your day, it's your agenda. And if you talk to TJ to say, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to do this, and none of it lines up with anything that you've said, then they're not listening, and it's just going to be an awful experience. So
I think it's good to interject and make suggestions, but ultimately I feel like the client needs to understand that it's ultimately their decision. As professionals, we may have ideas that aren't necessarily the ideas they put forward initially. But it's to be their advocate, I think, is kind of the underlying message.
It is. And the communication flows both ways. Like you've seen on some of the forums, that photo that's going up with the dance floor in the center and the DJ booth way over in the back behind like four sets of tables. It's like, talk that through. Hey, everybody, don't just settle for that and say, well, I'll put the speakers up extra high and blow over these two tables. That's a dialogue that needs to happen for this venue that's always done it that way because they don't know any better.
I just did a video on that, and I was just thinking, geez, when I say that I do entertainment floor plan consulting, that doesn't mean that I've got a CAD program where I'm going to lay this all out for you. It only means that you can show me what plan the event space presented to you before you approve it. Let me have a look at it and tell you what the problems could be for entertainment purposes.
Yes, you'll have the foresight to see.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen if you go with this layout. You're going to wind up with, so you get tables in front of the kitchen door. You get the bottleneck of servers. It's like we see things that are invisible to the average human, and we go like, that's going to be an issue there. That's a problem.
And I don't want to get involved with where they put the bar or where the photo. I don't care. Put that stuff wherever you want. But this is where the DJ should be. And why? Well, we already said that we don't want to be the center of attention. So why there? Well, it has to do with hotspots. Does anyone want to talk while they're at this event? Or are they just going to get music blared at them? Because if you're looking for a dance floor hotspot and conversation areas in the rest of the room, you're not going to achieve that if the DJ's behind tables. You're only going to achieve those DJs on the dance floor. It's going to be easier for them to do effective lighting for you, and they're going to be able to create that hotspot. That's how I rationalize it anyway.
Right. You never say that it's wrong. You just tell them there's a better way that maybe they hadn't thought of.
Here's another way. Yeah.
It's just like, just think this through and hear me out. And you're really not being confrontational about that. But yeah, all those are also good points.
Mikey, what do you got for us?
Oh, like couples, I always tell them, make sure, it is your day. Take advice from your wedding party or whoever, from your parents, but remember, it's still your day. Don't let them try to push you into something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I had a bride that her mother-in-law wanted to wear white, and it was just a total mess. And I told her, I said, listen, I'll give her a call for you. So I did. I told her, it's not your place to wear white. The bride is in white. Pick a different color. Pick a pink, nice,
sure,
pastel color, nice and soft. And she got a little upset with me, but the bride and groom couldn't believe I went that step to help them out. And
you were the advocate.
Yes, it is their day. Don't let nobody influence you. They may give you some good advice and they may give you some bad advice. Be a listener, take it in, and then you guys, make the choice at the end.
Right.
If they get mad at you, maybe they should be in your wedding then,
All right. Rico Suave, what do you got for us? By the way, he said before the broadcast, I'm going to sit up. I said, no, I like you leaning like this. I like it. It's every cool album cover from the 80s is the way he's posing right there.
And they all went platinum. So
they all went platinum. That's right.
Did very well. Yes.
Okay. No, I mean, I'm listening to everything you guys are saying, taking it all in, because, I don't do as many weddings as you guys do, but information is definitely the key. Knowing your clients, they're getting to know you, relating to them, make sure everything is right. My biggest thing, and of course, what Mikey just said, about the bride, the mother of the bride, okay, how she was planning on wearing white. I've talked to you guys before. I'm dealing with a client right now whose mother is just trying to make it look like this is her wedding, and I finally actually was able to pull the bride to the side, and actually talk to her and like, let's set up this for you, not your mother.
Yeah, it's your day.
Yeah, this is your day. And so we were working some things out. Music was one of them because the mother was blah, blah, blah. And the bride is young, so she doesn't really have a lot of life experience with music, but we're trying to work it out and get it catered to her and her groom.
Sure.
So, but yeah, definitely information is the key right now. I mean, so that's where I'm going with that.
I like to tell people like this. I say, hey, look, I want your personality to show in what I do.
Yes.
Having said that, there are guests here. They're going to want to hear other things, but I definitely want your personality to be a part of this. So if you're into The Cure, let's make sure we play some of that.
Mm-hmm.
But they may want to hear the Electric Slide too. Maybe that's what your guests want to hear. We don't want to make it all about you or all about the guests. Let's make this about everybody. Let's try to get a little something in there for everybody. Most people seem to understand that. Some people put their foot down. Nope, we want it all to be about us. Okie doke. I've had those clients too, and the weddings go the way they go.
Now that you mention that about the personality of the bride and groom, I just booked another client today, and she gave me a list of songs she doesn't want to hear.
Yeah, they don't play. Yeah.
Don't
Don't
lost the
play.
list.
And one of the songs was "Don't Stop Believing," and I told her, I says, she said, "Yeah, I know it's kind of a big song." I said, "Well, you have to look at it this way. At some point, if your guests get juiced up enough, which have a lot of beverages in them, they're probably going to want to hear that song."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Yeah, I just don't want it to be that." I'm like, "It's your wedding."
It's your
As
wedding.
as your friend, I'll give you a tap on the shoulder to go outside and take a walk in the garden if that's going
Yeah,
to happen. If I get 8
right.
requests for it, be like, good time. You should probably take your dad for a stroll and have a
Yeah, exactly.
conversation.
If
Let me
if I
sneak
have
that in and
a
get it over with.
Well,
no, if I have a client like that who puts like those crowd pleasing bangers on the list of don't plays,
Yeah,
and there's obviously a lot of them, I will ask them, was there a particular reason these are on the don't play list? Because, and I don't say this right away to them, but I know that there are legitimate reasons songs are on the don't play list.
right.
For
Of course.
instance, let's say that she's gotten married. This is her second wedding. The first wedding, those were all the songs. She wants something different for her wedding now. She doesn't want it to be a repeat of the last one. Maybe a song has some kind of bad memories attached to it. Maybe they just want something different than every other wedding they've been to over the last 2 years because all their friends are getting married, and every time they go to a wedding, the DJ is playing the same old songs.
Well,
So if it's just one of those, well, I just don't like those songs, then you have the conversation.
yeah.
Maybe she's still just traumatized from the whole Tony Soprano
Well,
thing.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
if I tell you her reason, you're gonna laugh at this.
Well, I want now. I got to hear it. I need to like.
Oh yeah, you got to tell us.
You ready?
Yeah, yeah.
She said it was don't stop believing. Come on and lean. It was like one other one. They're too vanilla. I wanted to be a little bit more funkier.
Never was vanilla.
I was like, okay.
All right, all right. Well, okay. So if you play that flavor all night, yes. But if you throw it in there here and there, it's kind of cool.
Yeah,
So,
I
okay.
agree.
definitely.
and those are the kind of conversations that you can have with the client.
Oh yeah, that's what we're having. So
Yeah.
You know, Brian, one other thing also with that, a lot of times, brides, they don't want a lot of the organized dance songs. And I think
Yeah.
some DJs play them back to back to back to back. And when I have clients that say they don't want that, I always tell them that we sprinkle them if needed. And we look at what's requested and we hear what's being requested, but we don't want to play them back to back to back. So I think sometimes as a DJ, like, oh yeah, we can go this and this. And sometimes we get into a little bit of a rut. We need to make sure, especially a client who does not want that, is kind of reluctant to allow you to do that. You need to show them that, hey, you could do one here, one there,
Sure.
and have that there, so people are crowd pleasers, but they're still happy too.
yes,
The way I've always looked at those songs personally is that if I've got a crowd that, let's just say they're cold and they need a warm up, those are great.
yes,
If I've got a crowd that they're self starters and they're ready to go, I don't need those songs unless they're requested. And usually it's after they've had a couple cocktails. But I will confess, when they are needed, or when I feel they're needed, or they feel they're going to serve the evening well, and I need to play something to open a dance floor to get these people out of their chairs, I'm a back to back kind of guy. And I'll tell you why. I want to get them out of the way so we can do other things. And after they're over, I do those other things. But I give them kind of exactly what they want before they can ask for it. I get their trust that way. They're warmed up, they're ready to go, and I can play maybe something that wouldn't have gotten a reaction otherwise if I would have played it with the audience cold. But we all have our own style, We all have our own style. There's more than one way to do this.
I had one wedding, which playing the Cupid Shuffle, Macarena, and everything, and the photographer came up and told me 275 people that are here were at a wedding last year. The bride's sister married the groom's brother. Okay, she said the same 275 people, both weddings. Nobody danced. She was the DJ. An hour into the set, he wanted to leave. So, all right. So I looked to the left, me, people's 70s and 80s. So, all right, I'll throw some oldies on for them to get them out on the dance floor. They didn't budge. Threw some newer stuff on. The younger people didn't push. Cupid Shuffle, I got about 10 women out there. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the hell's going to get these people to move? I said, yeah, let me throw Bon Jovi on. Let me throw Motley Crue on. Boom. Got them.
Yeah.
They were 80s headbangers. They loved it. They came out there, the beer started flowing, and went back to the Cupid Shuffle and back to the Macarena,
Yeah.
and they danced all night long.
That's what they needed for the warm up.
The more they
It's
danced,
just
the
what
more
they
they
needed.
drank, and that was it.
And that's you as a DJ kind of figuring it out. And that's what we're supposed to do. By the way, John would love to do this wedding.
Yeah. I might know a thing or two about your crowd. Yeah.
Got Boston John written all over it.
That's, yeah.
No Aerosmith, but
Boldly Go or a No Rocker has gone before.
No, Aerosmith. Oh, come on now.
well, and
You know-
just I always tell the couple, your guests are coming to your wedding. They're giving you a gift. Your two gifts back to them is the meal and the food. 6 months from now, they'll probably forget about their meal, but they will remember the music and how the DJ was. Was the DJ polite? Did he play their request? Was he rude? And want your wedding to be memorable for your guest? That's what it's all about. It's
Sure.
your day. Give me 10 songs that you want to definitely hear. I will get them on. Then make it a part for your guest to be involved in
Sure.
also.
I had a phone call the other day. It was something a little different, something I don't normally do, but a friend of mine used to have this big DJ company, and he's moved on. He now is in the auto racing industry. He's a parts provider for that. And I run into him at car shows once in a while. And once in a while, I'm able to help out the people he works with PA and stuff like that. I do PA rental for some of these groups that are doing presentations at Road America here in Wisconsin. So I get a call from, I think he was a Ferrari collector or something. And he wanted to do this special dance with his daughter at her wedding coming up this Saturday. And he talked to the DJ about what he wanted. He wanted a specific mix for this dance. They had already seen the dance done, but they wanted it done to a few different songs. There were absolute times that things need to come in and go out for this dance to work. They didn't want to relearn anything or make up any steps. I was wondering if I could put a mix together for him. Sure. So he gives me this list of songs that I was able to mix together with the times and everything else. He started with a slow song. And then it built to the twist, Chubby Checker, and then it went back to the slow song to end it.
It's great.
And I thought, okay, well, you could do it like that if you want to. However, something else you could do is you could end with the twist and then have the DJ get on the microphone and say, Bob and Sally would like everyone to come out and join them on the dance floor. And that's your dance floor opener.
Yeah.
That's it right there. You don't have to, the DJ doesn't have to work to get people out that way. It's a group active song everyone knows.
Yep.
And he said, well, think about it. That's a good idea. Let me talk to my daughter about it. So he does. And then comes back to me and says, yeah, we want to do that. But the thing that we were concerned about was that everyone is going to have to leave the dance floor because then they have to do the mother-son dance after that. Well, no. You do the mother-son dance first, and then you do your dance, and then the DJ can play Uptown Funk after that or wherever he wants to and keep the party going. Well, we want to surprise my wife, and she says that the way it goes is the father-daughter dance first, then the mother-son. So I don't know how we're going to do this. I said, all you have to do, because she says she knows we're up to something. I said, okay, this is all you have to do. Go to your wife and say, look, Rachel and I are working on something kind of special. So what we'd like to do is have the mother-son dance first and then do our dance because we don't want to upstage our new son-in-law. Says, oh, that's good. He did it and it worked.
The words that work. Yep.
So it's a matter of coaching these folks. You know, I think, and this isn't even my wedding. I may never talk to this guy again, but he's got a cool mix. And he loves it. And I did 3 different edits of it. No, 2. I did 2 edits of it. I did a sample, and he said, yeah, great, but extend this and shorten this and whatever. And I did that. And he's practicing it. And as far as I know, it's all good. But yeah, it's just I don't know. I just thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. Like, if you were going to write it down on a piece of paper and hand it out to clients at wedding shows, here are 5 tips or 4 tips or 10 tips or whatever to help you out with whoever you happen to book as a DJ. And I think we got some good ones tonight. We got some good information. So I guess that's it. We're time.
Very good.
We're over time.
Thank our sponsors, and we'll be taking it home.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. DJ Event Planner. Thank you so much for sponsoring this video. Have a look at DJ Event Planner down in the description of this video on YouTube, along with any other sponsors that we may happen to have here. So thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time. Join us tomorrow night, or I don't know what that adds up to in the world of when this gets posted, but we're doing a Tuesday night show too. Neither here nor there.